we're either going to see a heck of a lot of really strong climbers coming out or a heck of a lot of really injured climbers, you know? It's going to be one of the two, or maybe a mix of both.
Going back to like you like starting climbing and getting engrossed in it, as with any climbers, and I think it happens with any sport when anybody gets really into it, people make mistakes. And I'm sure throughout your climbing career there must be some climbing, not climbing training kind of mistakes that like you've made.
Yeah, I think yeah, do you know what? I think probably the biggest mistakes I've made, and I'm continuing to make the same mistake, as you all know, is maybe just pushing too hard for too long, and not necessarily in one session, but kind of over a long period of time. I think especially now more than ever, people need to be aware of this, because you know, if you're at home and you've got a fingerboard, or if you've got a board like this to train on, it's very intense. It's a very intense type of training. It's not the same as going to another commercial indoor climbing wall with lots of like variety and easier climbs and already set problems and slabs and vertical sections as well. You know, this is a steep board. Most boards are steep, small holds, you know, and it's action packed. And it's the same. You go to a crag, if you go to a crag outdoors, you might think you do, but you never pull as hard as you do on a board. And to swap out, I think going climbing indoors at a commercial wall for just training here on this board, the two are not the same, and you can't do the same volume on this as you can in another indoor wall or at a crag. You just can't, because if you do, it will injure you. And what I've found is I tend to do way too much intense sessions in a row for too long. If I train, you know, at my max intensity for 2 or 3 months on this board, I will break, I will burn out, and I won't be able to climb hard for a good amount of time. So I really need to change it. I need to lower the intensity, if necessary, increase the volume, but lower the intensity. Instead of coming in and doing like 5 font 7C boulder problems, maybe I'll do 20, you know, 6C boulder problems, or maybe a range from 6A to 7A, you know, instead, and have those volume sessions that are also really important for your climbing, but are very easy to neglect when all you've got is the board. And likewise for a fingerboard, for a lot of climbers out there who don't have home boards, they'll have fingerboards, and I think it's quite often the case that they try and replace the volume of climbing they were doing by hanging on the fingerboard for hours and hours and hours, and you just can't do that, because even when you're climbing, you're not stressing your fingers in that same way as you do on a fingerboard. So I guess that would be the biggest mistake I've made over the years. Not so much with the fingerboard, more with the board for me, but just a thing to, I guess, all the climbers out there: just watch the volume, watch the intensity, and incorporate more lower intensity sessions into your schedules.
I think that is something that I think so many climbers are guilty of. Like you, how many times have you like walked into a wall and seen a lad in the corner with like 9 out of 10 fingers taped up, complaining about his newest injury on his finger? I think climbers in general just have a hard time taking it slow when they need to.
Yeah, oh, for sure, certainly. And I think during this, you know, unprecedentedly crazy period of time we're living in right now, with lockdowns, you know, all over the world, we're either going to see a heck of a lot of really strong climbers coming out or a heck of a lot of really injured climbers, you know. It's going to be one of the two, or maybe a mix of both. But, you know, I think the climbers who come out the end of this stronger are going to be ones that have approached their training relatively intelligently, and although they will have those maximum strength hardcore training sessions, they'll also make sure to have the lower volume, lower intensity ones as well.
So watch out for your volumes.